Hello everybody, good evening. Welcome to Istanbul, Turkey. This is the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2026 qualifying tournaments. And we're about to watch Canada take on Turkey, the hosts. And already today we saw really an impressive Argentina team play hard against Australia, but they lost. We saw also Hungary winning against Japan. These were the rankings for the teams before the start of this tournament. You see Turkey at 16, Canada up at number 7. So that is a lofty billing for the Canadians. And Nell Fortner, who is a veteran tactician, of course, the former USA coach, led USA to the 1998 world title. I remember watching that one. Interestingly, also that World Cup was in Germany, and she's hoping to make it back to Germany to be coaching Canada. World Cup will be played in Berlin later this year. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Shona Thorburn, who, what's the word we want to say here? Let's just put this out there. Shona played for Canada, and there's not going to be any bias for this Canadian national team tonight. She's as impartial as they come. Shona, I don't know, this is a massive game. I mean, both of these teams need as many wins as they can get to the World Cup.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, this is a big game. It is game day 1, and this could decide your future for the World Cup, which is crazy. I don't think that is the case. I think win or lose tonight, you don't know what's going to happen on game day 5 in a week from now. But you get a win tonight, you have to feel more comfortable as the tournament moves on. And, well, Turkey, you and I were there at Eurobasket. We really liked the way that they played and put themselves in this position. It was probably some of the best basket I had seen them play in quite a while for Turkey. They do have a coaching change, so that might change things. They're missing some players, but they do have 8 returning players from last summer. Canada, on the other hand, I mean, Nell Fortner has taken over after the Paris Olympics. They have a 3rd place finish from the FIBA America last summer, but it was a last-second 2-point layup by Silas Swartz, who's not even on the team this year. Who's going to make up for a player like Swartz?
It's a big ask, but it's the nature of basketball. Sometimes players are there, sometimes they're not, whether it's a club, whether it's a country, and really just emphasizes the need to be as good, as deep, as talented as you can be, and that depth will be put to the test, especially perhaps for Canada at this tournament. So we are now going to listen to the national anthems for both Canada and Turkey. Well, this place is humming tonight in Istanbul, and looking forward to bringing you the action on this one. Again, Andrea Mazzon, the new head coach, well, appointed back in September of Türkiye, following a little bit after the FIBA Women's Eurobasket, where Türkiye finished 7th. Ekrem, his predecessor. And really that Turkish team came oh so close to getting to the semifinals. I mean, it was Heartbreak Hotel losing that one 76-74 to Italy. They finished 7th to make it here. Referees tonight, Julio Naya Frail from Panama, Wissam Zain from Syria, and Brazil's Nicola Zivieri. And it's Julio Naya who is the crew chief for this game. And, you know, you talked about it, you know, just the margins. Canada barely winning that game to finish 3rd. Türkiye barely losing that game. I mean, it's just like one play here, one play there. But Türkiye, they brought several players, and Canada have as well, but they're missing some players. So Shay Colley, Kia Nurse, Bridget Carlton, Kayla Alexander, Aaliyah Edwards in the starting 5 for Canada, with Pellington, Hill, Becker, Wallach, Edgem, Russell, and Doot coming off the bench. And Nell Fortner, the head coach.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Nell Fortner, I think, wants to put Canada back on the map. Obviously, Canada, they had a disappointing finish, very disappointing finish at the Paris Olympics in 2024.
Starting 5, Sevgi Uzun, Olcay Şakir-Turgut, Guksan Fitik, Kennedy Burke. And no, you're not seeing double. That should be somebody else, so we'll figure out who it is. And a whole list of reserves. We'll try to get that one straightened out for you. And there's Mazzon, who's coming off the high of leading Venice, Romanai Venezia in the EuroLeague Women to the Final 6, beating Italian rivals Beretta Famolesquio. They lost the first game, and then they won their last 2. And so, yeah, when I look at Mazzon, I think of, here's a guy that puts defense first before anything. And as long as you play great defense, you're going to be in ball games.
Yeah, you know, I mean, defense, we have seen teams struggle, though. Japan, the game before, they couldn't figure out how to score points. Argentina, you know, it was a closer game than what you see if you're just looking at the score, but Argentina needed to figure out a way to score, especially in that second half, and they couldn't. So I think it goes a little bit both ways, and I really believe that this group is going to go down to the final game day 5 to decide who are going to pick up those 3 extra tickets to the FIBA Basketball World Cup in Germany in 2026 in September.
So in fact, it's going to be Ezra Urotopoulos in the starting 5, the other, the big center, and no senior at this tournament who's been dealing with an illness for Türkiye. Of course, they've changed their naturalized player to Kennedy Burke, and also with Fitik, Şakir-Turgut, and Sevgi Uzun, really good players. I love Alperi Onan coming off the bench for this team. And
she was great at Eurobasket, giving them a spark off the bench. I think Uzun's playing some of the best basketball that we've seen her play for her national team in recent years. And then you have the staple, Şakir-Turgut, who the captain, the leader of this team. She's reliable. She's going to run the offense. She's going to huddle them in. She's going to get them together. She's going to have them playing good basketball. The advantage is they didn't have to travel, and you're hosting a tournament on home court. That is a huge, huge advantage, and let's see if they'll pay off for them tonight.
Home cooking.
Home cooking.
Only in terms literally eating at home in your own kitchen. That's what we're talking about. A lot of good eggplant, which is famous here. Well, hello everybody, we're underway. That was kind of a quick jump. I'm not sure either center was ready for that one, and is Türkiye with the winning the opening tip, wearing the red, attacking the basket to the right on your screen, and excitement time here in Istanbul, and the 3 no good from Kennedy Burke, but the ball batted over to Fitik, and she's fouled on the putback. What a start for the hosts.
Fitik, an energy player for this Turkish team, just hanging around the rebound. I thought it was a pretty good box out by Bridget Carlton, but again, Kali needs to get a body on her player. And Fitik with a big time finish and a trip to the free throw line.
She really was a bright spot for the national team in Athens, in Piraeus. And now the turnover, Sevgi Uzun. A little bit of miscommunication there. Uzun drives in. Burke. Oh, look at that pass from Burke. Inside to Topuz. Big Ezra. And already seeing some nice vibes with Kennedy Burke in this team. Tia Nurse spins, turns, gets it up, and it rims out. Shaker Turgut whips it down low. Ezra Topuz, and again, if I'm being honest, I remember watching her play about the sum total of about 5 minutes in her Turkish career.
She's almost played more tonight and has done a good job for them.
And what does that say about Matsum? And maybe he's making adjustments without other players, who knows? Alexander missing it from deep. Uzun has it. And this is not going well for Canada here at the start. Already down 7 from the elbow. Sevgi Uzun, Kennedy Burke keeps it alive. And Bridget Carlton comes up with the basketball. Bridget Carlton, soft touch, she's got it.
Bridget Carlton is going to have big tournament for them. And I'll talk about this as the game goes on, but Turkey has such an advantage. Other than Burke, all these players have played many games together where, not just on the national team, all of the Turkish players play professionally in Turkey this year. So they're playing with each other throughout the year, throughout the season, their professional season, and then they get together every summer to compete as well. Where Canada, you know, you look at this, you had Shea Colley, you had Kayla Alexander, and you had Edwards, but they were missing Kia last summer, they were missing Bridget last summer. And it's the difficulty that Canada is having to deal with, not having a professional league in Canada, and then, you know, their WNBA players not also showing up every summer. They're showing up every other summer because of WNBA commitments.
And Bridget Carlton steps out of bounds. And right now, Canada kind of pushing the self-destruct button at the start of this game, down 9-2. And they need to flip the switch quickly, because Turkey, when they get the confidence, they are a tough nut to crack. Sevgi Uzun, again, down to Topuz. This time she's not able to handle it. Fitik trying to stick with Carlton. Carlton spins, turns, puts it up. Fitik with the board. Fitik was that great super sub coming off the bench last summer. Now in the starting lineup. Shaker Turgut drives in, and her pass into row H. Trying to get it back outside to Kennedy Burke.
I like this Kennedy Burke addition to this Turkey team. I think she's, you know, especially with Topuz, we've already seen she's put in the effort. She's getting playing time now. And, you know, I think McCowan, they gave it a try, Tierra McCowan, and it didn't work for them.
How about Shea Colley knocking down the 3? Uzun back out to Fitik from the elbow. She's got it. She's fearless. She really is. And the jump shot no good for Kayla Alexander. Topuz not interested in that. Gets it over to Burke. Oh, yes. She's up for it, isn't she?
I mean, you know, the amount of experience that Kennedy Burke has playing in the EuroLeague Women, plays here professionally for Chukwurova Mersin. And EuroLeague to start the season, finished in Euro Cup.
The ball almost getting away. Good job getting it back. And going up, but missing. Aaliyah Edwards. Ezra hands it off to Kennedy, but then a foul on Ezra Topuz.
I do think Turkey looks a lot more comfortable than Canada do right now in this first 4:20 of the game. But again, I mean, Canada had to travel. Everyone had to travel a long distance. Yeah, they have a few players playing in Europe, but Europe's not that close either to arrive to Istanbul.
Sammy Hill into the game now for Canada, number 4. And gets right to the basket. You can see where she could be dangerous, but she needs to make that shot. Fitik has it back to Shaka Turgut. I like what Matson did, though. He started Ezra Topuz, get her into the game early. I mean, who knows? We'll see if she plays again. Sammy Hill, meanwhile, comes up with the interception, and then she's fouled by Shaka Turgut.
I think right now, 14 points, you still have 5 minutes left. You can't give Turkey a 28-point quarter and expect to win the game.
Looked like she was tickling her there, reaching around, making sure that foul is going to be called, stopping the play. So in the game now, Yvonne Edgem, the sister of Melvin Edgem, Canada International, one of the great guys in international basketball we've been able to watch over the years. And Shaka Turgut goes out, and Alpri Onar checks in for Turkey. Alexander has it. Kali, that's off. Also in for Turkey, Janet Gul. She's got it right now. And she thought Fitik was going to be popping to the corner.
She saw a red sweater with VIP seats.
It's good to see some new faces in this lineup. Kali back outside. Carlton drifts in, tough shot, follows up the miss, and yet another foul. Boxing out. This is a let the foul count today. Players boxing out. And this one goes against Canada.
It was going to go against Gul and Turkey.
There it is. You look at the, that's, wow.
I don't think it was on, I think she was.
That looked like a tough call on Canada there. She was definitely on the wrong side, but it looked like she was taken down. Alpri Onar drives in. How about that? She is just instant offense. I mean, she really is.
The speed and the quickness that Turkey are playing with. And again, I think you see that every player knows their role when they step out onto the court. And Canada, you know, they only had 2 days of practice before this competition started.
Kali gets in, and good D. Uzun brings it forward with a big game-winning shot at the Eurobasket, you might remember. Alpri Onar again, not going to hesitate, gets blocked though, and she is fouled by Shea Kali.
It's going to be Shea's second personal foul, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see her head to the bench. And yeah, Pellington's going to check in for Shea Kali. Canada right now, 5 points. They need to figure out who to get the ball to. I think a few times on those offensive possessions, maybe you could have hit Kayla Alexander inside underneath the basket. I think when Topuz goes out, she has an advantage over the Turkey bigs.
Onar misses with her first attempt. Makes the second. We're watching this game in really the brand spanking new Turkcell Basketball Development Center here in Istanbul. a wonderful place. Shayna Pellington handling the basketball for Canada. Gets in, ooh, leans in, puts it up. How about smooth?
I like that. That's a, you know, as a coach, as soon as you check someone in, if they come in aggressive, can pick up 2 points for you when you're desperately looking for points. Can they get a stop now, though, Canada?
Good hands, Hill, and some good talent coming off the bench for Canada, kind of settling things down for this team. And a young, youngish Canada team, isn't it? Pellington's only 26. Here's Kennedy Burke. Carlton doesn't hold it. It looked like maybe Edwards
who ran into her.
Clattered into her.
Oh, no, actually, I think Gull might have got away with a rebounding foul.
Oh. Onar goes down, and Uzun goes down, but
Onar stepped on the line, so it'll be a turnover, ball back to Canada, and they desperately needed that stop.
Well, stormy start for Canada, trailing by 10 points. They look like they've got some possibilities, but another turnover. Gould comes up with the steal. Over the shoulder pass, back to Gould. Here's Uzun. Over to Burke. And the Kennedy School of Basketball is in session. No, she misses that one. Stays at this end. Onar bumped by Hill. And Canada are over the limit, so free throws are gonna, or foul's gonna put Onar right back to the free throw line. Alfred Onar looks better on this attempt. Always feels like you go back through the years with Türkiye, and yet Nevri Yilmaz was that great center, but they always had
Yilmaz.
great guards.
Always have had good guards, and we have some in the sitting courtside here tonight.
Ushul Albin.
Yep.
Here's a drive, Penn. This time Pellington unsuccessful. Onar not interested in the three. No, she is. She steps to her left. And Gould does a good job of getting a hand on it, but it goes to Edwards. And Erdogan perhaps flirting with an unsportsmanlike. Watch this.
She came. I thought she came more from behind to make the foul. It was from the side, though. But I agree with you, kind of.
She started to reach for the ball, but then she kind of held her back.
Possibly could have gone both ways.
Hill. And great rebound. And putback attempt and fouled by Burke. So Edwards will go to the free throw line. This Canada team can really use some offensive rebounding.
Second chance opportunities because their first initial shots aren't going in. And let's not forget, this Canada team, they finished 4th at the last FIBA Basketball World Cup in Sydney, Australia. And I know they had very high hopes heading into Paris 2024 and, you know, feeding off of that success. And unfortunately, it's gone not exactly how many would have predicted.
And remind us what happened in Paris. It was, or France.
I mean, they ended up finishing the tournament 11th, didn't get out of group play, no wins, went home packing early. So I think this Canada team, there's been some changes since then, obviously, but I think they have a lot that they want to prove.
And right now, they're not proving it because Türkiye is taking it to him. Here's Berg from the right corner, missing. Pellington, oh, nice catch and spin. Open floor. You can see she likes to go hard, but maybe a little bit out of control there, taking it all the way. Not sure she thought she was going to get a foul called.
Yeah, I think I like Pellington, how aggressive she's come in since she's checked into the game. I think she's trying too much to draw the foul than to make the basket.
Nice handles from Berg. And Gould gets blocked by Edwards. Edwards starting to become an enforcer. And Nurse is going to come in for Pellington, who's going to hear it from her coach, Nell Fortner.
Pellington missed out on last summer's 2025 AmeriCup team with an injury, so it's good to see her back in a Canada jersey. And I liked the energy that she came in with, maybe forcing the issue a little bit too much after that first made basket.
Melek Uzonoglu in, as well as Elif Bayram for Türkiye. Metson able to go to the bench. Byron played a lot last year at the Eurobasket. Carlton being D'd up closely by Fitik. Now she's going to drive. Nice hesitation, turn. And Byram first to the basketball. Erdogan gets into the lane, puts it up, and gets it to go. She shot it with her left hand. And boy, this is a worrying lead now. For Canada, you've only scored 8 points. And they got to get a shot up to get it to their score. And no foul called. And Bridget Carlton.
I understand the frustration from Bridget Carlton.
Yeah. 21-8, Türkiye on top of Canada at the end of one.
But I also like how aggressive Türkiye have come out and defended Canada. Here's a quick look at the statistics, 67%. So they're getting it done from 2-point range. But look at that statistic, 7 trips to the free throw line compared to just 2 for Canada. I think right now the referees are giving the advantage to the team that's more aggressive. And that is Türkiye on the defensive end, but also on the offensive end. So I think Canada needs to change their mentality. They need to stop looking at the referees. They need to try, go up aggressive, go up and score, but they need to get it down on the other end. 21 points, that's a lot of points in a quarter to try and come up with a win when you're playing on the road at someone else's home.
Well, we have to wait and see how this first quarter is going to impact the Canadians already trailing. You can see some good things. Kali knocking down the 3. But Türkiye really feeding off the home court advantage. And a great start to life as a Canada national team star for Burke. Alfred Onar as well, coming off the bench, playing her usual important role. And initially, Pellington really did well, but I thought your point was spot on. You know, she needs to try to score rather than trying to get the bucket rather than get the foul.
Because the referees aren't calling the fouls.
Well, scan in the QR code to get Courtside 1891 app in your smartphone, or log in via the web to watch live streams and extended highlights of FIBA competitions.
I do like your point, though. I really like the way that Türkiye's energy and quality of basketball did not dip.
FIBA Secretary General Andrei Zaklis on the left. FIBA Europe President Jorge Garbajosa, Hussein Beslik, former Turkey star. So Andre Kirilenko there. It is a who's who of
international basketball.
Yeah. You're here. I mean, gosh. Incredible.
We have Kim Gaucher to our right.
That's twice now that she's been mentioned. Because Bridget Carlton taking it in, and
And this is the kind of action, though, that I like seeing Canada. They moved the ball. They were playing with speed, momentum. There was no stoppage in the play. The ball never died. And Carleton, that time, aggressive, trying to go up strong, trying to go up strong to score the basket. And she's rewarded with a trip to the free throw line.
And when the struggles are there, it's reflected everywhere.
Yeah.
And at the free throw line, let's make the second. Funny, all three of those guys that we saw, we'll talk about that in a second. Alperenar looking in. Fitik for three, misses it badly, but look at that, Elif Byram had it. And good job, Carleton, avoiding Fitik, and then she goes down, fouled by Elif Byram.
The referee right away goes with an
unsportsmanlike.
That was coming from behind and from the side, and it was not a play on the ball, and zero hesitation there by the referee. So Carleton is going to get to go to the free throw line for two, and Canada is going to keep the ball, but Carleton looks a little, easy call.
With a little bit of a shove. I mean, we know the Canadians like to play a little ice hockey, but maybe.
Let's not talk about ice hockey. It was a rough Olympics for us.
This is probably just what Bridget Carleton needs. Stop the game, go to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hoop.
Take a breath.
Now she's gonna examine the floor burn on her left arm, go out. Although she's taped up, I don't know how she can see it. There's Nurse back, and foul called, and Fitik needs to be careful she doesn't slam the ball down like that in front of the referee. She will get teed up.
Yeah, and they have momentum right now. Turkey, yeah, Canada going on a little bit of a run to start the second quarter, but Turkey have the momentum. They've already picked up an unsportsmanlike foul. If you get a technical, you were absolutely handing the momentum to Canada.
Yeah, you're on top of them. Just play hard. Nurse at the stripe, one of the more accomplished players in Canada basketball history with her UConn resume and longtime career in the WNBA. Also
played over in Australia professionally during the offseason of the WNBA. There's multiple World Cups, Olympics under her belt.
Jacqueline Turgeon back in the game. Kennedy Burke also back. Jacqueline Turgeon goes to the left hand, and there's Burke. And tried to score with the one-handed putback, but does not. Here's a three-point shot. Oh, I'm sure she tried to bank that in. And Russell gets down. They battle for the basketball. Fitik comes up with it. Alexander back in the game for Canada. Maybe get her some touches down low.
I think that's absolutely someone you need to go to, especially if Bayram is on her.
A bit better defense. Jacqueline Turgeon drives in, banks it in. Goes off one leg. 1 foot.
This ice-type defense where they're trying to force baseline on a side pick.
Great anticipation from Burke, who goes in, and Charity giving it away. If you're Canada, Turkey only too glad to accept. Now Nurse from the right corner misses. And all the positivity that was built up by Canada has just vanished in the blink of an eye. Here's Burke again. I suppose she's got the green light wherever she is.
Kennedy Burke has had the green light any team she plays on. That is absolutely true. And
so timeout on the court
by Canada.
They need one. 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. Let's go down and listen to Coach Nell Fortner. Well, Coach Fortner taking the positive approach, trying to keep the spirits up.
I mean, I completely agree with her. Stop looking at the scoreboards. Stop worrying about what the referees are doing. Worry about what you can control, and that's how you're going to play, what kind of energy you're going to play with, what kind of looks you're going to try and get as a team. So let's see what they're going to get out of this timeout on their first offensive possession.
Well, I heard a Southern twang there, and definitely she was born in Jackson, Mississippi. Here's Kia Nurse, and there you go. That is a huge shot out of the timeout. Topuz, not sure she wants to go at Alexander. Fidik, and Alexander with the board.
Oh, and it's going to be close to a technical foul as well, or an unsportsmanlike in my opinion.
Well, let's look at this again.
Oh, I think Burke is saying that Aaliyah also hooked her, and she has good reason to think that.
And Edwards goes up. Good defense by Topuz. Topuz trying to ask for the basketball in that low post. Not sure how great her hands are. She has been able to catch a few passes tonight, but this time the ball goes out of bounds. And we're going to get our first look at Wallach.
I'm excited to see what Wallach is going to do for Canada. She's had a great first professional season over in Europe, playing for a well-known club from Hungary, Chopin. So they didn't progress in the EuroLeague, but she's still having a good season.
Yep. And an offensive foul.
Against who? Kayla? Alexander?
Wow, battling for position.
Well, I think the refs are trying to tighten the game up a little bit here.
See if you can look.
Well, I think another veteran, Shakar Turgut, was able to sell it a little bit, yeah.
Uzun. Bounce past Topuz. And Shaka Turgut drives in. Playing with some motion tonight in front of the home crowd. Kayla Alexander, and
I think that's her first good look, though. She had a shot from the elbow.
And a foul going for the rebound. Or a push. Yep. Coming over the back on Russell. I'll tell you one thing about Topuz. You know, I mean, she's big. She gives you some rim protection. She just stands there with her hands up, and already she's doing what she's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, she individually can guard Kayla Alexander on her own, so no one needs to come over and help. And Alexander, as Carleton comes up with a steal.
They're desperate to get some easy buckets. Canada's just down by 11. Guarded by Sina Matash. There is Nurse. By the way, measures allegedly only 1.98 meters in height. She looks bigger than that to me. Here is Uzun putting it up and in. She's been pretty quiet. Wallach. Canada once again down by 13. It was a difficult start for them, and Kali gets in. Edgem kept it alive, but also kind of knocked it out of Kali's hands.
Again, I think they're good, strong takes, but Turkey and their aggressive defense. Look at this, help side comes right away. And well, Kali easily out of bounds, trying to save her own missed shot.
Topuz. Back to the basket game. Brings it back out. Fitik. Uzun, in and out they go, and they end up with the ball in the best player's hands. Biggest deficit of the game now for the Canadians, 15 points. Nurse, step back. Topuz with the board. Gosh.
It's just, you know, watching these two teams, and there's a big difference offensively. It looks smooth when you watch Turkey, and Canada are forcing a lot of shots, taking difficult shots, where Turkey is sharing the ball, have a lot of movement, everyone's aggressive, they're playing unselfish, and at the end, they get good looks, and they're making them.
Definitely a worrying start for the Canadians. 31-16. They had 8 points in the first quarter. They've only scored 8 points in the second. And we'll see if Nell Fortner can flip the switch again.
I think, you know, Canada did a good job drawing fouls against Turkey early in this quarter. Turkey had committed 5 team fouls, and since then they haven't fouled, so Canada haven't even got to the free throw line, which would be a great way to chip into the score like Coach Fortner asked for. So, but, you know, looking at this statistically, and we'll talk more about it at halftime, I mean, 16 points on 16% total shooting. They're only 13% from 2-point range. I don't know a lot of countries that can win a game when you're shooting that kind of a shooting percentage.
Well, Pellington back in. Edgem, open, got it. That was a nice soft shot. And they get stops. Again, they could use some easy buckets if they can get them. Onar. Ooh, Atash. And good box out by Wallach.
Great box out by Wallach. Wallach needs to get in. She has a mismatch on Shakar Turgut, but Canada
Carlton, no.
Can't even find the open person.
And this time they're lucky, Canada, because Turkey throw it right back out of bounds. With Canada, okay, so 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. They're down 13. Where do they want to be by halftime?
I mean, I think if you can chip it to 10 points or single digits, and that's not the way it's going to happen. Like I said, if they can attack, draw a foul, they're going to get to the free throw line right now. And I do think they have some advantages inside, and I don't know why Wallach and Edgem haven't touched the ball more.
Onar to the corner. Shakar Turgut fouled. A grab.
It was a great heads-up veteran move by Shakar Turgut, knowing Wallach was going to foul. Well, it should have been on the ground. That was well before she actually got into a shooting movement. But it doesn't matter because, oh no, I think it only would have been the 14th foul for Canada, so.
Well, Shanna makes 1 of 2, so not wholly punished. Pellington whips it down low. Finally, they get it down low to Edgem, and she scores.
And this is what I mean. I don't know why Canada have not put the ball inside more often. Wallach, Edgem, you have Edwards, Kayla Alexander. They need to get touches, easy looks, because Canada's not scoring from outside right now.
Uzun drives in. Shakar Turgut goes up and banks it in. The captain playing like one tonight. Leading the way. Edgem, good hands. Throws it away though. Up to Shakar Turgut and Byram. And Turkey are rolling. Turkey leading by 16 points.
Well, we said, what can Canada do heading into half? And right now, Turkey says, what can we do heading into half to feel comfortable?
Wallach, a rare opportunity for her. She gets in and banks it in. Uzun changes directions. Nice pass. Byram. Great work by Turkey.
Byram, just great movement off the penetration. Cuts behind. It was almost textbook how coaches teach bigs to move off of guard penetration.
Final seconds ticking off the clock. Pellington gets in and she's fouled. So Canada will get to the free throw line. And probably just a second left. Yeah, 1 second on the clock. So, boy, a lot of work for Canada to do. A lot of stuff to talk about at halftime. But it's one thing hearing it, and it's another thing applying it.
Well, I think the referees are going to take a look to see how much time. The foul was called, and I think the shot was off Yeah, so they just want to see how much time
less than a second
is left on the game clock.
Yeah. Looks like it'll be right there. 0.7 or 0.6, whatever. Take your pick.
Well, Türkiye do have a timeout, but coach is taking advantage of
0.6. Okay.
It's going to be tough to get a shot off. I don't even think Christian Leitner could get a shot off with 0.6.
But could Ignas Sargunas of Lithuania?
He could score 9 points in 0.6, apparently.
Paddington makes the first. Ignas Sargunas plays for Lithuania. Had 3 threes in the last 9.8 seconds to lead Lithuania past Great Britain in the first window of the World Cup qualifiers, the men. Here is the second and misses. And that's kind of the way it's called for Canada. Just not able to get anything going. And they have got an almighty struggle on their hands. 39-24, Türkiye leading it over Canada at halftime.
We'll get a look at the statistics, but you can't win a game shooting 21% from 2-point range. Most success they've had is at the free throw line. And you said it, they've dug themselves a hole. They were a little bit better the last couple minutes of that second quarter because they were in the teens. Their shooting percentage, as we get a look at the top scorers, Ecem 5 points, Şakir Turgut 8, Burke, the newly minted Turkish player, with 7 points, Carlton 5. But every single point Canada has had to work for, and it has not been easy. So I think they need to figure out, they need to change something offensively. Defensively, I think they've struggled. They're trying to force baseline on these side pick and rolls, and the guards are getting into position a little bit too early before the screen is even set and the big's not there. And we've seen Türkiye be able to attack them and get good looks or finding the pass after that because help has to come because defense wasn't set. So this is a perfect example. Sammy Hill was forcing Şakir Turgut to the baseline, expecting a screen was coming, but the screen wasn't there. You have to be between your player and the basket until the screen comes.
Well, Burke helped put Türkiye on the way with her early performance. Maybe not so much after that, but it just felt like Türkiye, not surprisingly, ready to go at the start of the game and just never really lost that momentum.
You know, this is why you host these events. You have home court advantage. You didn't have to travel. I think it's a great opportunity, and Türkiye are taking advantage of their opportunity. They're comfortably up on Canada by 15 at halftime. Can Canada come back? Absolutely. We've seen crazier things in a basketball game, but the confidence, how Türkiye are playing, they look comfortable out there. There's nothing Canada can do offensively or defensively, or nothing Canada did offensively and defensively that made Türkiye uncomfortable.
It's a time unlike any before.
It's not a request, not a maybe, not a someday. This is now.
Feel our presence, built on strength
and drive. Not rising, we are arriving. Not hoping, but owning.
This isn't a moment, it's movement. Constant, relentless.
Every cut, every pass, every shot. Earned. Taken.
Undeniable. The future, it's already here.
Forged in sweat,
ruled by queens.
When we move, the whole game shifts.
And we're unstoppable in all directions. We own the game.
Anderson just flying down the court, reverse, reverse. She gets it. go, this time falling down, has a chance for a three-point play. Did you see that shimmy? A little shimmy on the way down.
Shaking out with a little crossover and nice smooth action on the jump shot.
Nice little turnover here. Defense feeding offense for the Opals. No look pass. Georgia on the block, waiting for it, and it counts. Australia feeling themselves.
Now they're running. And what a fake pass. And then the pass to Lee Yuiru. Still lots of time, though, for the USA to score as Unescu with a deep three-point shot at the buzzer is good. And that's what happens when you shoot a little bit too early at the end of the quarter, folks. They go inside to Garvin. Nice tip pass to Steph Talbot in the corner. And it's good at the buzzer. Steph Talbot. And what a half she has had as she now puts Australia up 51 to 43.
So Vucevic, little pump fake. She drives down, and Thomas rips it from her belly. The kick to Jones. Finish complete.
Well, again, you've got the bigs running the floor like that. Nice leak out by Jones.
Oh, goodness me. Amy here says, get that out of here.
Are you kidding me? Papa Nicolau says, give it to me. I'll go attacks to close out. Deep Bruno inside. Fills it up. It's all right.
Well, not a lot of people to choose from, unfortunately, for Canada. And it is going to be Yvonne Ejim with the 5 points. And I did question throughout that first half, why have Canada not got the ball more to their bigs? Not just Ejim. You can go with Wallach, go with Kayla Alexander, go with Edwards. They needed to get some easier looks, easier touches. There's a lot of standing around, watching the person with the ball instead of playing in movement. The few times that they played without the ball stopping, they got a good look and they typically scored.
Yeah, if they could maybe take a slightly different approach in the second half, we'll see. Certainly not going to question Nell Fortin or her what she wants to do, but it'll be interesting to see what she does and whether or not her team can execute. And just so much to like about. What strikes you that's different about this Türkiye team than what we saw last summer in terms of certainly seeing Topuz out there is different, and she's been able to contribute.
She has. I mean, she got an opportunity. She's getting to play. And this is sometimes what happens when you bring in a new coach. Obviously, Mazon
doesn't have any preconceived notions.
He doesn't have any preconceived notions. He doesn't coach here in Türkiye either, which I think is maybe an advantage. Obviously, a great coach is taking Venice to their first ever EuroLeague Final Six
yep.
with big win in Zaragoza with a big win over, you know, rival Skio to get that last ticket to the EuroLeague Women's Final Six. So I think, you know, you have opportunities for other players to come in, and what I like is he's completely gone to his bench. Almost everyone has played for him. You know, I think they've played 10 players, and it's proving beneficial. Bench scoring They have 11 points, where Türkiye in the past didn't rely a lot on their bench. And it's not just a bench scoring. People are coming in, getting stuff done defensively, moving the ball offensively, and it's paying off.
And there is that element of playing at home, you know, for somebody like Shakir Turgut, who's always hit the road to go play for that national team. It's a great chance to play here. And, you know, and you felt like this Turkish team was singularly focused last year on having success at the Eurobasket, and was, when they lost that game to Italy 76-74, it was a devastating setback for everybody. And more than eager to come out and put things right, and a chance to do so in front of the home crowd. But, okay, so Matson sees Topuz. She's been in the national team, but she hasn't played much. And he goes, who's the big girl? Why hasn't she played much? So he looks at her, he puts her out, he figures out a way to have her in the lineup. And here's how you can help us.
Yeah.
And in the first half, it worked to perfection. I was curious if she was only going to play like the first 2 or 3 minutes and then not get back in the game. And she got back in the game. And at bare minimum, if you can do one good thing defensively to help them, she's actually got 2 steals. Yeah. Not to mention the fact that she's got her hand straight up and caused some problems with her.
She has caused, you know, I don't think she has a lot of blocks to her name in this game, but the amount of shots that she has adjusted because of her presence inside the key defensively for Türkiye, you know, she has helped with the poor shooting of Canada because of what she's done.
And when she catches the ball, you know, on the offensive end, in and around the lane, she's not really looking to make a move. She's looking to pass, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
In the way this Turkish team plays, it just means, you know, the Turkish players have to move. They got to get open.
And they have scorers. You know that she most likely is going to be playing with Kennedy Burke, so it's fine if she's just a passer, a facilitator, a screen setter, because it works for them. And I agree with you. I mean, this is the most I think I have ever seen her play for Türkiye.
Oh, no question. I've always wondered why did she go, because she never played. And national teams, you know, the deeper you are, the better you are, and you can't teach height, Shona. I know you think that you can, but you can't.
We try all the time, coaches do.
I do wonder, though, honestly, if she's listed at 1.98 meters in height, 6 feet 5 inches, she looks a little bit bigger than that to me. Maybe it's just the way her bun on top of her hair. Also coming out and contributing tonight, Zeynep Gül, number 12. She had some good minutes.
And I think really good minutes, especially considering she wasn't on that Eurobasket team. She plays limited minutes for her professional team, Galatasaray. And while Canada coming out to the floor now, only 2 minutes of warm-up for them before second half comes around. So I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to see. I want to see what Coach Nell Fortner is going to change.
Well, she needs to change something because it wasn't working. And maybe that's symptomatic of just not having enough time together. But, you know, tournament play, you're not eliminated from your aims if you lose one game. However, it becomes a lot harder to accomplish your aims if you lose on day one. Yeah,
you know, we've seen crazier things happen, but I totally agree with you. It also, if you can win on game day one, it gives you confidence as the tournament goes on. And I think confidence is something that Canada maybe is missing and lacking right now. And, you know, sharing is caring. There are a lot of standing, watching the person trying to score whoever has the ball instead of playing with movement. So let's see, they got 20 minutes left. It is not do or die. Both teams will be back in action again tomorrow and then a day off. So 5 games in 7 days is a tall task. But if you can get a win over the home team, Türkiye, on game day one, you're going to gain confidence for your game tomorrow.
Well, Argentina lost by 25 points, but we felt like that probably should have been more around the 10 to 12 point margin of defeat, because they were really good, better than expected. Scanning the QR code to get Courtside 1891 app in your smartphone, or you can log in via the website and watch live stream games, international basketball. It's all happening all year round. European qualifiers, Asian qualifiers, African qualifiers, America's qualifiers for the FIBA Basketball World Cup, and you also have these great tournaments that we're watching. We also have World Cup qualifying tournaments in Puerto Rico, in Lyon, France, and also in Wuhan, China. So we're underway here in the second half, and it's Türkiye with the opening possession, and Fitik comes right out and misses from the corner. Oh boy, and Kia Nurse's pass intercepted. Not a pass that she should have even attempted, and it leads to an easy bucket.
No, I think Kia Nurse there, no one was on her. She could have started the break for Canada.
Kayla Alexander, and look at that. We talked about it, and there is...
I don't mind that shot, though. I think it was a good
Topaz.
look for Canada, but how about
Look
Topaz?
at that. She's a revelation.
She gets the block.
Look at that.
Does
so
the
happy
work
for her.
defensively, sprints the court, and her teammates reward her.
I mean, this is a developing story, folks. She is big and strong, and, you know, you would have thought Kayla would have really gone right hard at her. She tried to, but now she is. Let's see if she has success this time. And look, Topaz again gets the block. Kennedy Burke walking the tightrope. Fidik open for three. Well, plan A hasn't worked so far. Maybe here, and Edwards will go to the free throw line. And that did not feel good for Shaka Turgert.
Yeah.
She's wincing.
Took the runt, even though the foul was going to be called against her as well.
Ooh. Yeah, she just kind of lost her balance and went down. Let's see if Matzone takes her out. She's in a little bit of pain with her hip.
Staying in the game, though. She is the heart and soul of this team, though, the Türkiye team, and she has been for a few years now, quite a few years now. And
well, she made that senior team bow back in 2015 in Hungary. Well, when it was in Romania and Hungary. But followed a bunch of greats.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
And it was tough. So
and then it became her time, but she was still kind of young.
Boy, nothing working for Canada, and now, and Fitik getting too close.
And it's exactly what you tell your offensive player. If their defender is up in you, you should have the right to be able to move.
Oh.
And
Matzone's going to challenge this. He's going to challenge this call. Oh.
What else can Edwards do? I don't think it was aggressive.
Is it a basketball move?
Yeah. The only thing she could have done was actually move backwards, and you're allowed to attack the basket, right? So, well, I think we have a challenge, though.
Okay, well, this will... The way things have gone for Canada tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if it was successful because Murphy's Law for the Canadians. Unfortunately, we can't hear our refs tonight. We're hoping that this is going to change during the tournament. So the rule is, like you said, you could go back or you can attack. But if it's a basketball move, you can make this move.
No, I think it's more Fitik needs to let her.
Right. She can't be faulted for bringing the ball over like that, even if the elbow
I wish
catches.
we could hear the referees because I'm sure they would explain the situation.
Okay, well, I'm going to go down there and listen. I'll be right back.
All right.
Ooh. Well, one thing is for sure, that Fitik, whether or not she was violating the personal space or not, really took a shot. And that does not feel good. Look at this.
No. I mean, that's called taking one for the team, right? And
right there. And the fans, what the fans are seeing is an elbow connecting with Fitik.
yeah,
And they think it's going to be a blatant call, as do the Turkish players. Now let's see. So they're not going to change the call. They've had a chance to look at it, and you trust them. So,
I mean, especially when they get to go and they can review slow-mo on video as well.
And Carlton. And again, it's Topos rather, and this time the foul is called.
So again, Canada early, like we saw in the second quarter, getting Türkiye to foul. It was just Türkiye, as soon as, in the second quarter at least, they did a better job not fouling and not putting Canada to the free throw line. And Canada, best way to get back into a game when you're down is, well, one, making shots, but two, stop the clock and go to the free throw line.
It's going to be fascinating seeing how Ezra Topos plays for the rest of this tournament and how she competes against the other bigs. 17 points the difference. Carlton now with 7 points. Good defense from Edwards. Here's the drive back outside to Burke. And try as she might, Burke doesn't win the battle with Edwards, the former UConn star, WNBA star. Here's a drive back to Kayla, and Kayla gets a rare look and misses. But I guess that's a shot she needs to take.
Got a couple UConn players. Kia Nurse, Edwards, Dorka, Juez.
Yep. She's a player of the tournament so far. There's the miss. Dorka Juez with a career high for Hungary, 35 points in the previous game, and their win over Japan.
Well, Canada have got it done defensively the last couple of possessions, just not able to score themselves, though.
Nice move from Carlton. A little hesitation. Back to 15. It's got to happen at this end. Shaka Turgut, nowhere to go. Kali comes up, and the contact sends Shaka Turgut down.
It's going to be the third personal foul by Kayla Alexander. I think it's a good idea to be aggressive, but here it's just the reach-in.
Yeah,
it wasn't a big foul, but I don't think it was necessary. They had a good trap on Shakar Turgut up against that sideline.
Uzun, she gets in, kind of forces up a shot. And it goes back to Canada. So a little bit of an opening here for the Canadians. But they need to keep having some success, some efficiency. Edgem comes in for Alexander. And
Wallach did a really good job when she was in the game for Canada as well. Playing time late in the second quarter.
Oh, gotta watch it. Fitik is really getting up close again. Kali, high arcing, mid-range.
I think Canada can get a better looking shot instead of a single ball screen up top and then a contested pull-up.
Well, certainly with Edgem just checking in and Carlton on the court. Here goes Fitik. And
either way, I think it was going to be a travel.
They called an offensive foul on Fitik.
You can see it on this. Look at this, her left hand.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's a great call by the referee. Easy call for the referee.
She was able to dribble to her legs. Everyone comes into the game. Fitic goes out after a tough spell. Shona, again, it's important that Canada whittle this deficit down regardless whether or not they win or not. There is another miss for the Canadians.
I'm saying they're getting it done. They're doing a better job defensively, but they have not necessarily figured out their offensive woes.
Colley with the foul. Watch this.
I understand Colley's frustration because Fitic is all over Colley when she's trying to bring up the ball, and it's almost the same type of action, in my opinion. So, why is it being called against Canada and not Türkiye? But at the end of the day, you look at the foul count, and it's pretty much even. So,
Uzun from the baseline. Oh, and nice shooter's bounce. Up to 17 points, the lead. Nurse from deep.
And
Edwards
again,
working tirelessly.
I don't mind that shot, but I think Carlton she saw the chest. She saw Canada across Edwards' jersey, and I don't know why Bridget Carlton didn't go inside to Edwards. That's where they've had their most success.
So Edwards missed a couple already in this third quarter. She's going back to the free throw line. Elif Byram with the foul. And Edwards makes the first. Oh, makes one of two, but Edgem able to get to the basketball. Nurse quickly for three. Ball batted out again. Good job, Edgem, getting to the basketball. And then nice handoff, and Edwards, so they get 3 points down that floor. Good job, Pellington.
Yeah, good job Carlton as well, tipping that ball out, keeping the ball alive, and Edgem running it down and getting them another opportunity to score. But when you're down these kind of numbers, what you have to do.
Oh, nice defense by Edgem. And now up the floor, and Nurse, and fouled by Shaker Turgut, who hustled back to play defense.
Well, it's the exact kind of energy and what you expect from your captain. I think she thought she had all ball. Let's take a look. She had a lot of ball.
Yeah, she's unfortunate unless she gets her the body grazing by, but I don't think so. But anyway.
This always evens out
Yes.
at the end of the game. So, but we have a Turkish timeout. I think it's the first timeout he's called in this game.
Well, with that in mind, let's go down and listen to Matson.
Don't worry, he might be back. It's normal, but we gotta fight for rebounds. They take 3 offensive rebounds from free throws. It's impossible, no. It's impossible, come on. If we run the horse-up goal, we run the horse-up with the 5. So, we pass to 5. They get the ball from you. She screens. You go on the dunker, and we play pick and roll. 1 with 4. You understand what I'm saying? So the horse up, we go there. Let's go, let's go. Let's go. Hey. Attack Carleton when we got a chance, okay? Let's go. Come on. Brother, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
So showing of 4 tournaments. There's one in Lyon, France, 6 teams. There's one in Wuhan, China, and there's also one in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And here in Türkiye as well, in Istanbul. We think it might be the toughest.
Oh, hands down, in my opinion, it's the toughest. We only have one team that's qualified automatically, and that's Australia because they won the Asia Cup last summer. So
it means the 3 best other teams.
There's 5 other teams here competing
that are pretty
for 3 spots.
Comparable.
Very even, let's say.
Yeah. Nurse makes both, so that helps. That's a 12-point game. Erdogan to Byram. Can Canada continue to get some stops? Burke Goes to work, and good job, Carlton. Oh. And Richard Carlton with the foul. That was seemed to be a patient whistle.
Yeah, again, I think that was pretty good defense by Carlton, but we've seen it happen on the other side. Shakar Turgut maybe had a tough call go against her, and I really do believe at the end of the game,
it evens out.
It evens out.
The scales of justice, even. Karma. Okay. Back to a 14-point lead. Still plenty of time, 14.5 minutes. Burke has taken over as the naturalized player in this Turkish team. Pellington over to Edgem. She's got a nice stroke, doesn't she?
I mean, she's actually not known as a three-point shooter, and that's already her second three-point shot, 2 of 2 from three-point range tonight. But that last offensive possession, you had movement. The ball never stopped for Canada, and then they end up getting an open look.
Another foul, Carlton?
That's gonna
Or
be
Pellington? Yeah, Carlton's her second.
so 2 quick fouls back-to-back
And
for Bridget Carlton.
so both teams with 4 fouls. Erdogan pulls up, and the lefty misses everything. Pellington go now for Canada quickly. Turkiye get back, but Pellington is going to get in the paint. Over to Edgem, not interested in the 3 this time. She gets in, she goes up, gets the rebound, puts it back up, and scores.
Yvonne Edgem coming up big for Canada in this game. She is their highest scorer now. Double digits, 10 points for her.
And she's kind of deceptive with her length and height. And look at that, it causing problems with Kennedy, Burke, and Edgem's making the difference right now, folks. Oh, look at the spin from Pellington, gets in, test shot, and Byram gets the stop.
Again, I think Pellington trying to force the issue a little bit too much. You had a 3-on-1 opportunity on that last break for Canada.
It's only a 9-point lead for Türkiye. And Sam Hill is going to come back in for Pellington. And good reps in. Edwards lays it up and in, and Canada, their best spell of basketball in this game.
Again, the success that Canada have had, though, they're scoring inside the key. I like that action right away. They knew Edwards was going to post up Byram. I think that's an advantage they have.
Uzun drives in. Here's Burke. Another miss, and the rebound, they leave Byram over to Uzun, who doesn't release it quickly, drives in, and goes up and scores with the reverse. Cool, calm, and collected. And the lead goes back to 9.
I mean, who do you go to in a situation like that? You either go to Shakar Turgut, she's on the bench right now. Second up is Uzun. We saw it happen all last summer.
Nurse, oh, tough shot. How did she make that? She got her defender moving backwards and then just had a little short shot. Alpri Onar gets in. Oh, what a layup. When she gets going, it's tough to stop Türkiye. Carlton, 11.5 minutes remaining in the game. Nurse pulls up, that's off. But Edwards saves it inbounds, but at the end of the shot clock.
I mean, you still have the same defensive matchup, though. I think you go right back inside to Edwards, where she scored on Bayram, who's now checking out of the game. I think they needed to go back to that look. You know, until a team takes away your success offensively, why don't you continue to run the same thing?
Yeah, I hear you. Alpri Onar stops and does not pop. Good job, Kayla. Alexander. Pellington. Zips it over. Carlton. She's off target, but Edgem again. And this time she gets blocked by Burke, but gets it back. Oh. Doesn't have the dribble. Well, Carlton. She's got to get it up. She does. And makes it. What a huge three right at the buzzer.
Misses the wide open shot. I guess it was too easy for her. Saw her size up Onar. Just shoots over her.
Uzun back to Burke. Gets in, misses. Oh, and the ball tapped up and in by Burke.
Where someone needs to come and help Alexander on the defensive rebounds, though. It's just her fighting for that defensive board.
Inside, here she is, Carlton wide open, and she's feeling it right at the end of the quarter, and Canada are right back in it. 53-47, Türkiye's lead trimmed to just 6 points over Canada with 10 minutes remaining.
Well, talk about a game of runs. The last 2-3 minutes of that game, Canada doing a much better job. There are the shooting statistics. Getting to the free throw line where they have had their most success scoring, and then I think that has opened up other opportunities to score because Türkiye had to not play as aggressive defensively because they were already in the bonus and putting Canada to the free throw line. I do think Canada needs to get the ball inside. They've had success when they have had touches inside, outside. And well, Bridget Carleton, one of the stars of this Canadian team for many, many tournaments now, stepping up big time at the end of that third quarter. She now has 14 points. How about Edgem's minutes?
Oh my goodness. Edgem already 8 points, 6 rebounds. She's getting rebounds that she shouldn't be getting, and keeping new possessions for her team, second chance opportunities. Well, and for the first time, Türkiye under a little bit of pressure now.
Yeah, I mean, they had a big lead, a 19-point lead during this first 30 minutes of play, and now Canada right back in it. Anything is possible. But we talked about this in the previous 2 games that we've already had here today. Win or lose, you need to try and lose by the least amount of points at the end of the day, because this group's going to come down to game day 5, and you don't want to be on the negative side of a point average.
And we've seen such a scenario unfold before. You want to scan in the QR code to get Courtside 1891, the app, or you can log into the web, via the web, to watch live streams and extended highlights of FIBA competitions. Remember, the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament came down to goal differential, didn't it, in the end?
Yes.
For France and Canada and Japan and Hungary. We're all there.
So
and it was Hungary that lost out.
It was Hungary that lost out with Spain 2-point win to get to the Paris Olympics. So anything can happen.
The fourth quarter underway. The Turkish fans trying to make some noise. Carlton over to Edgem. Shot clock winding down. It's going to be a tough shot here. Carlton takes a very difficult, and Uzun blocked. Called for the foul, shooting the 3.
Well, Uzun pleading her case, but not to the referee who called the foul. Let's take a look. It was a lot of ball. I don't know if she hit her arm on the way down, though, with the follow-through, but the referee was right there, and I'm all about contesting shots. What you don't want to do is foul a 3-point shooter who's shooting an off-balance shot that's going to be a low percentage shot chance that she's going to make it.
And by the way, Shona, the 3-point shooting has been big in this game. Just 1 of 13 for Türkiye, 5 of 16 for Canada. And Carlton just made the 3 biggest free throws of this game for Canada. Carlton now with 17 points as well, leading all scores in the game. How does Türkiye respond to this pressure?
Get the ball to Uzun.
Alpre Onan still in the game. Erdogan comes up with it, goes right down the lane, puts it up and in! Now Sammy Hill. Honestly, the way the game was going, I didn't see Canada coming back into it.
No.
They finally found some.
Right here, I think you have Kayla Alexander open on the low block, and instead, well.
Edgem, smooth, back outside to Hill for three. That's short, follows up the shot. Oh, tries to make the pass. And Canada fortunate that Kayla Alexander gets it, but misses. Kayla having a tough night shooting it, just 0 for 6.
Yeah, she's typically a person who you could expect a double-double for in her
Pellington.
career for Canada.
But they might call a push there with Onar going for the rebound. It's a 5-point lead for Türkiye. Oh, almost a palm. Edgem for three. That looked a little long, and it was, but it goes in because the bank is open. She is, I mean, does she qualify as the X factor for you?
Oh, absolutely in this game.
Kennedy Burke answers the call at the other end. Now she's got 14 points. Spin and Pellington can't finish. Kali going to come back into the game, presumably for Pellington. Uzun. Ball hit off the underside of the backboard, and Pellington quickly to the ball. Now she throws up ahead to Sammy Hill, who gets it over to you-know-who, Carlton, and knocks down the three. Shows the three-point sign. She's got 20.
I mean, who do you go to? Bridget Carlton. She's been the most consistent player at major tournaments for Canada, I would say, in the last 4 or 5 years.
But this is, they need to look for her every time down. They don't. And Pellington with the foul, I believe. Yep, definitely a grab by Pellington. Colley's coming in. Oh no, Colley's coming in for, yeah, for Pellington. Fortner, some words to Pellington, and Erdogan at the line. 2-point lead for Türkiye, and then Erdogan misses the first. Nervous times here in Istanbul.
Well, especially with the way that Türkiye have played for, what, 27 minutes?
Yeah, leading by 19.
Yeah, 19-point win. During that third quarter, it was a 19-point win. And you thought they were just sailing to an easy victory, but Canada storming back and have gained momentum.
Oh, dangerous pass. Edgem gets it over. Sammy Hill needs to be careful. Burke was almost off to the races. Now Alexander, here's Hill again. Gets it up from mid-range.
Great box out.
Burke, and almost banked that one in. And a hold called on Hill.
Yeah, trying to box out Bayram. Bayram, typically one of the best offensive rebounders on this Türkiye basketball team. Seen it throughout her professional career at Besiktas. This year she moved to Galat.
Is that Galatasaray?
Galatasaray, yeah, sorry. Galat, you know.
For those, you know.
For those
who don't know.
I speak
the
I speak the lingo here.
I call him Gala sometimes. Okay.
Gala?
Oh, the pass, and Burke, fortunate. Ball goes off of Edgem. Edgem has been terrific. They're going to review this. I know we got a timeout. No, they're going to review it. Coach's challenge.
Yeah,
okay.
I think Edgem was saying, I didn't touch it. It should be our ball. That pass from Kennedy Burke.
She's 23 years of age, Yvonne Edgem, and has she made a difference today?
Gonzaga grad.
Yeah. Yeah, 2025.
Well, I think this is a pretty good use of the challenge because it does not look like Yvonne Edgem touched the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be Canada basketball. Good challenge. Burke just kind of lost it. Did you know that she has 10 siblings?
Yep.
That's a 5-on-5 right there. No wonder she's so good. A lot of time to practice.
Based in Alberta, right?
Yep, Calgary.
Yep.
Here is, again, Edgem comes up, guarded by Kennedy Burke. They want to try to get the basketball to Bridget Carlton, but she's being blanketed. So Kali gets it up and misses, but there is Edwards. Edwards, and it goes. And it's a 1-point game. And Turkey is trying to hold on for dear life here against Canada, who have had a stunning fight back.
But you know, there's still 5:40 remaining.
Shakur Turgut drives, and this time the foul on Kali. I think she's out. Is that 5?
No, I think that's her 4th. But the energy that Canada have had to use to get back in this game, and there's still 5:35 remaining. You know, I could see them running out of steam in the last couple minutes.
It's tough when you're climbing that mountain, and then right when you get almost to the top of the mountain, you can't quite get there. And that's kind of where they are right now. Can they make that final climb where the St. Bernard is with the reward? So Shakur Turgut is going to be feeling it when she goes to bed tonight. She has taken a couple of hard tumbles. You can see she's walking a little gingerly. She misses the first. Matson. Such a tough group, and the way this game has turned just illustrates how tough it is. Back to a 2-point lead for Turkey. Shakur Turgut, the foul on Pellington.
He's right
That's
in
only
front
the
of
second
us.
team foul.
Just a little bit too aggressive there after Pellington picked up the ball. I think it's more, you know, you see the offhands kind of touching the body.
They leave Byron going for the steal. Here's Carlton, finally gets it. She's going to drive in. She's going to score. She is in unbelievable form right now. She goes up to 22 points.
I would love to know what Bridget Carlton's career high with Canada is as well.
And the turn and a bucket from Kennedy Brooks.
Big time bucket by a big time player, Kennedy Burke, playing her first competition for Turkey. She has 16 points now, a team high for them.
And this time Nurse drives in. It's going to stay at this end. They inbound to Edwards. And Edwards doesn't score. And it's hard to believe she didn't score from that spot. Look at that. Shakur Turgut weaves her way in. And another foul called, this one on Edgem. Edwards goes up and barks at the referee. Thought a foul should have been called at the other end, but
well, Canada staying
still
in
thinks
that,
she should have made it.
the defense where they force them baseline. Problem is when Burke sets the screen, she's such a good three-point shooter that she's gonna pick and pop, and it's very difficult for the big to get back. And then there, a little bit of miscommunication. Do you switch or not switch between Carlton and Edgem? And Shakar Turgut, being the veteran player that she is, sees they don't really know what they're doing, and she decides to attack the basket herself and get to the free throw line.
Well, just like last time, she misses the first, and just like last time, she makes the second to take it back up to a three-point lead. And she's going to go out. Alpri Onar comes back into the game. I think that Shakar Turgut is banged up a little bit.
Yeah, she looks like she has been grimacing almost since the second quarter.
She's given a captain's minutes right now. Canada back to Carlton. Look at this. She's got 24 points. She is like poetry in motion right now.
And 24 points after a somewhat slow start from the first quarter.
And now the ball knocked away. Good job, Nurse, reaching in, forcing the turnover. And Canada can take the lead if they do. And it's Balak there. She's put Canada in front. Incredible. The first time they have led in the game, having trailed by 19 points.
I mean, 19 points and 19 points in the third quarter. Talk about a comeback. You almost thought Canada's night was over.
It's like they've discovered themselves tonight.
Well, you know, there's that time difference. They're just waking up.
I mean, it's like they were dead and buried, and suddenly the hand comes out of the grave, and Edgem and Carlton start leading them back.
Yeah, I mean, it's the shooting percentages. You know, we're getting a look at the shooting percentages now. Canada, they are up to 34%. Halfway through the second quarter, they were at like 17, 18%. They were in the low 20s heading into halftime. Türkiye were in around the 70s from two-point range. They're still shooting a high clip from two-point range, but Canada just staying aggressive. They're getting to the free throw line where they have had success 21 times compared to 19 for Türkiye. And, you know, it was easy to fold for Canada, but something inside them, hey, don't forget, they were in that locker room for 13 minutes out of the 15. They came out with 2 minutes before third quarter action, and I don't know what was said, but whatever was said is working.
Well, had you been a fly on the wall, you would know. You're going to have to do your sleuthing after this and find out what was said. I'm sure you can get down to the bottom of it. Carlton is 8 of 9 at the free throw line, 7 of 12 from the floor. She is 2 of 4 from deep. So she has had quite, especially a second half. And Canada look a far cry from the team that scored just 8 points in the first quarter and 16 in the second. They had 23 in the third quarter, and they already had 17 here in the fourth. Still on just under 4 minutes to go. Now, nice pass, and Uzun misses. Elia Edwards going for the rebound.
Türkiye only with 2 team fouls. Canada have more than 5 team fouls, so they're going to put Türkiye to the line if they do foul.
And this is where you do expect one of your players like Onar or Uzun to really kind of, maybe Fidik. It's going to be Onar at the stripe, and you need one of those veterans to step up and make a play, and she puts her team back in front.
You know, outside of Kia Nurse and Bridget Carlton, this Türkiye team have more experience.
And Edwards drives in and scores.
I like this lineup of Elia Edwards and Yvonne Edgem. It's just the athleticism, the edge that they have given Canada. They're undersized.
Here's Onar for 3 off the back of the iron. Carlton with the rebound, fouled. Oh no, stepped out of bounds.
Was she out of?
Fidik gets up holding her midsection. I don't understand the call either, but let's see.
Oh no, it is a foul, yeah.
It is a foul.
Wait,
on
no.
Türkiye. On Fidik.
No, I think they're saying the foul was on Kia Nurse.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think the foul.
I'm going to tell you, yeah, it's
Rebound
waiting for it to register.
Was for Bridget Carlton, and then, yeah, I think the foul, the boxing out foul on Kia Nurse.
Okay, well, FIBA does not, Turkey leaving a lot of points out there at the free throw line, and she misses again, and Byram going for the basketball, and that extra hustle from Byram is going to keep it at this end.
Again, I mean, you have to know how good of an offensive rebound Byram is, and Canada almost need to pinch her with 2 defenders, especially on the free throw line.
So you're right, as Shaker Turkett comes back in. Look at the hustle here. Yeah, the foul was on Kia Nurse, which is why FIBA had the free throws. And now it is safe to say that whatever happens, it's not going to be a huge win for either team in terms of points.
I don't think so. I mean,
and again, it gets down to, late in the tournament, goal differential could come down to, that's probably why it stings so much for Japan that they lost by 12, and also for Argentina, although they lost to Australia. It's hard to see Australia getting into a 3-way tie with anybody. So we don't mic up the coaches during the 4th quarter. It's just the way it is. But we do mic up you, Shona, and I'm wondering, I guess if you're Canada, you just don't do anything different. If it ain't broke.
You defend, you rebound, you try and get stops, and then you continue to do what you've done on the offensive end. That's been aggressive. Get the ball either into Edwards, Edgem, or Bridget Carlton. And, if they can't get something going, continue to move without the ball. Never have a dead ball type situation where the ball is stuck. And they've had good success playing that way.
Shaker Turkett is going to inbound the basketball to Kennedy Burke. Bounce pass to Uzun. Goes back outside to Shaker Turkett. Shaker Turkett is sitting down. Spins, turns, gets it up. And good follow attempt, but it doesn't go down, and Canada have the ball with a 1-point lead.
Well, Turkey still only 2 team fouls. So they can be aggressive here if they want to defensively.
Pellington picked up the dribble, gets it back outside to Kia Nurse. The pass is zipped over to Edgem. Edgem gets it up!
Well, Shaker Turkett with a big-time defensive play, which we have seen her do time and time again. And she is going to need to ice after this game.
And that's a good call. Edgem kind of leaned in and drove the right arm.
As soon as that arm kind of, extends, I think it's an easy call for the referee. Whether it was pushed that hard, it's still an easy call for the referee.
Uzun gets it up. Dan Turkey back in front. To me, Shona, it's obvious. It's plain as day. Carlton needs a touch in whatever way, shape, or form. Nurse from deep. Oh, forget what I said. It's Kia Nurse time. Twelve points for Kia Nurse. And now Turkey once again on the back foot. Onar. Bounce pass. Byram. She ties it. Great basketball. They've run 2 good plays coming out of the timeout.
Yeah. Well, I mean, twice really were, I think, Pellington not switching aggressively.
Oh, and Byram went up, and that's the argument from Turkey.
I agree. I think she went straight up.
The contact perhaps being initiated by Pellington, but she gets the call to go her way. She's going to go to the line. Look at this.
We also,
she kind of leaned into her a little bit, yeah.
going straight up, but also forward at the same time. Here you can see, I agree with that call.
Yep.
And it was the referee from behind, and he
Initially,
could see that angle well, better than you and I.
I thought she went straight up at first, but from that standpoint, no. And Paddington misses the first. And free throw game, so important. Canada, 15 of 22 now, 71%. Paddington misses both. Polly getting checked back into the game. And with 1:23 remaining, it's Turkey's turn. Can they go back in front and give this crowd a huge thrill to send them home happy? Here's Uzun going up against Edgem. She gets the shot up. She misses. But Byron with another huge rebound. Now Shakur Turgut drives in against Paddington and scores with the left hand. And timeout called by Canada. I know that Bridget Carlton is not going to be open every time down, but
at least touch the ball. At least have her in and
try
action. Yeah, I agree.
To get something for her, because she owns this second half.
Yeah, well, this is Canada's second timeout, so both coaches have one timeout left. Canada, a lot of time, a minute 5. There you see the...
And explain the significance of that. So, yeah, I don't know why we have overtime. We haven't had that. Just forget that.
This is way too many points.
So you save a timeout, then if a team scores with not much time left, you can call a timeout and then advance the ball if you want to.
You don't necessarily, in my opinion, if you're
not
Canada,
right now,
you don't
late.
need to advance the ball, because then you only have a 14-second shot clock. Me, I take it out in the backcourt. You have your 21st-second shot clock. But you run a play.
But I'm thinking later in the game.
Yeah, for sure. But I do know some coaches are very different, and they'll want to advance the ball and get a quick look out of the side out of bounds. So it'll be interesting to see what Canada...
That score's not right either, folks. By the way, it's 71-69.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there we go. So... would Canada think about taking an open three here? I mean, there's no... I guess if it's an open shot for Bridget Carlton, she's not going to say no, or Nurse, who just knocked one down.
I think the system,
as long as it's a good three,
probably the way that my brain would work, the system would be, you would have a look at a 2, and then you would have another option out of your system as well if that first option wasn't open, and maybe that's a 3, or vice versa. But you have lots of times you get to play an entire offensive possession right now. So let's see what they have run.
Collie in the game. Edwards has the big drive. Oh, and it rims out. Turkey dodge a bullet.
You can't have a better look. Good job, Kennedy Burke, and maybe coming over and adjusting Edwards' layup. So now they need to get a stop, Canada, or can Turkey make it a 2-possession game?
Burke, shot clock winding down. They got to get the shot up. Shakur Turgut knows there's not much time. Here she is. She gets blocked by Edwards. And now Edgem. And Carlton zips it up. And Uzun almost comes up with a huge steal.
Bridget Carlton almost turns the ball over. I think she had a dribble, too, and could have dribbled, no?
I think she was thinking there might be a fast break opportunity or a layup.
And this is, so you have Canada taking their last timeout. Turkey are going to have a timeout if Canada score. And this is where I think, disadvantage. Canada only had 2 days to prepare for this. I think if they had longer to prepare for a game like this, they maybe would not have used a timeout. They would have already had a quick hit system set up for a side out of bounds that they could have called right away without calling a timeout. And now they have to use their last timeout. Both coaches have used their challenges. Turkey have 1 foul to give. That's very important for Canada to know.
Basketball is crazy. Canada could not have had a better opportunity to tie the game than a layup.
Yeah.
And premier player like Edwards and Burke, as you said, came over and must have affected the shot just a little bit. So Türkiye living a little dangerously here. Remember, they led by 19.
Led
Canada,
by 19 points.
They came all the way back, Canada, to take the lead. Now Türkiye have gone back up by 2.
I do think if this game goes to overtime, the advantage might be Türkiye, just with the effort Canada has to put out in this second half to crawl back into the game.
Okay, so 17 on the shot clock. Carlton's gonna try to inbound it. She does to Colley, and now she fakes the handoff. Colley, they get it, and it's gonna be Nurse for 3. And another great play. Colley gets it. Oh, and she puts up a crazy shot. Edgem has it. Canada panicking a little bit. They get it to Nurse, and Nurse with the shot. The game clock winding down. She puts up a tough shot. Türkiye are gonna hold on. And Shona, I don't think Canada executed well at the end. It's kind of like they panicked.
I think that shot by Kia Nurse was a great look. The fake handoff by Colley.
71-69. Türkiye win it over Canada right at the end. They hold on.
I think the panic came on that offensive rebound by Shea Colley. You had 13 seconds. You had an entire other possession. And, well, Türkiye, guess what? The basketball gods were on their side tonight because they got lucky with the way that Canada played the last 15 minutes of that game. Türkiye should have easily handled this game with a 19-point lead.
They should have, but you said it spot on. It was after that first miss, and then Colley had it for some reason. Chucked up a wild shot and missed everything, and then everything just kind of went haywire.
Well, 33% and 36% free throw shooting, more or less even. Canada to finish at 34% overall is really good considering how badly they shot in the first half. And rebounds advantage for Türkiye, but Carlton, 24 points. That's got to be close to a career high for her. I thought Edgem and Edwards were great for Canada in the second half. Burke, 16 points, her first game in a Türkiye jersey. Talk about a win, talk about a performance for Kennedy Burke as well.
It was, and all things considered, just tremendous, I think, grit shown by Shaker Turgott, Uzun, Onar, Burke. Byram came in, played very hard at the end of the game.
Yeah, offensive rebounds or
Feed
touches.
It played hard, and you're right. I mean, Türkiye, I think, extremely fortunate to get out of here with a win tonight. And Canada's going to be disappointed because they weren't good for about 25 minutes, and then all of a sudden it started to click.
I was just about to say 25 minutes of action. Canada struggled, and, having watched Canada play for 25 minutes, I'm not sure I would have picked them to possibly get a ticket to this year's FIBA Basketball World Cup in Berlin in September. But after watching their last 15 minutes, absolutely. Jeff, this group is crazy.
This group is crazy, and there is much work to be done for Türkiye. There's even more work to be done for Canada, but the possibilities are still there for Canada without a doubt. And but I do think also it's an important step taken by Türkiye to get to the World Cup. Obviously,
these
want
are
to
the
win.
kind of wins that you need to come up with. And again, the lack of preparation for Canada. Türkiye are playing at home. They already have that advantage. I don't think they would have had to use a timeout because they would have had a side out of bounds ready to go. And, well, like you said, execution. I think Shea Colley just not having good awareness of the clock after that offensive rebound. They had plenty of time to run another system to get another good look. But they had their chances. Aaliyah Edward missed an open layup to tie the game. It would have been 71 apiece. It's not like Canada didn't have chances to come up with this win. But they dug themselves a hole, and it was a deep hole that they climbed out of.
There's a lot of positives you can take from this game for Canada. You're not going to win the game if you can't make a layup. Let's just put that out there, and that's unfortunate, and that's just the way it goes. And they didn't make it, and let's also be honest, they didn't handle that last 13 seconds well. But it's easy for us to say that, and they're the ones that have to get out there and play in hostile territory. So Bridget Carlton, I think she needs maybe a few more touches, especially when she's as hot as a firecracker. I agree with you. They got the open shot for Kia Nurse late. That was a good shot. She just didn't make it. And from that point on, it just kind of went awry for Canada. So, but where there's hope, there's life, and still with plenty of games to play. That's why these tournaments are so much fun. Canada will have to dust themselves off, come back out, and be ready to play the next time.
Yeah, both teams have to be ready. It's going to be a short turnaround, especially for Canada. We know that Turkey have the late game tomorrow, and Canada, I think, have the afternoon game.
They play at 5:30 p.m., so at least they don't play the early game.
It's not the early game, but they got less than 24 hours.
Look at the standings. So Australia, Hungary, and Turkey win. And then you've got Canada, Japan, and Argentina. That final score, 71-69, 77-65 for Hungary over Japan. And yeah, Argentina lost by 26 points, but that game was much closer than that final score indicated. So, just as a reminder, Australia, Asia Cup winners, Belgium, the Eurobasket champions, Germany is the host, Nigeria is the FIBA Women's Afrobasket winners, and Olympic champs, or America's winners as well, USA already with their spots in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, which is going to be played in Berlin later this year.